All right, we are here helping you get through another Monday on Crain and Company. To my left, former Michigan quarterback David Cohn. To my right, former Western State, Colorado wide receiver Blaine Crain. We have a bunch to discuss today. We have a little bit of an abbreviated show. We live streamed for 8 hours yesterday, but we're going to get to it as we debate whether the Chiefs once again making the Super Bowl is good for the NFL. Should the Bills move on from Sean McDermott? And what Penn State stealing Jim Knowles from the Buckeyes really means. All right, Blaine, tell the good people about the chat and the way the poll will.
What's up, chat? Happy Monday. Make sure if you're in here, you hit that like, you hit that subscribe button. If you donate, it's on topic, it will get read. All donations will get read at the end of the show. We're going to have multiple polls today where you get to decide the winner. So choose wisely. David, I love you, but no hot take hotline today.
No calls today.
No calls today. Abbreviated show, but still, you got to bring your lunch pail here on Crain and Company. Buffalo Bills head coach Sean McDermott has done some really good things. He's won 5 straight AFC East titles. He resurrected the Bills and stopped their 17-year drought in the playoffs, and he seems to be a stand-up guy. But after once again failing to make the Super Bowl and once again failing to beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs, I think it's time for Buffalo to make a change. Now, I don't say that lightly, and yes, sometimes the grass isn't greener on the other side, but if you're a Bills fan, when is watching the same movie going every single postseason going to become unwatchable? Buffalo's lack of success in the postseason and inability to beat the Chiefs seems to be a culture problem there. Deep down, that organization from the players to the coaches just can't seem to do it, even when they catch most of the breaks in a game like they did last night. Teams only have small windows to make hay, and the Bills, outside of the regular season, are wasting Josh Allen in his prime. Not only are there big mistakes on the field, like not having James Cook in the last drive of the game when it matters the most, but McDermott is a defensive guy. And the Bills aren't close to possessing what the Chiefs, Ravens, and Eagles have. Don't give me the injury excuses. Everybody's beat up. And the lack of weapons around Josh Allen is another personnel problem that hasn't been fixed. Name 2 position groups where Buffalo is as good or better than the top teams in the NFC and the AFC. Is it a risk to let him go after sustained regular season success? Yes. But Josh Allen isn't going anywhere. He's the catalyst. And the Bills need a dog at head coach, someone who can change the belief inside that organization and give them a fresh start to try and change this same old narrative that we see every year. Because the Ravens, the Eagles, and the Chiefs, they aren't going anywhere. And in the AFC alone, the Broncos, Texans, Bengals, and the Steelers, they're not just going to disappear, and who knows what's going to happen with Miami. The Bills' window is right now. And with McDermott, all they will do is continue to window shop when it comes to the Super Bowl. David Cohn, again, I hate talking about guys getting fired. There's a few that I just don't like personally that I think should. But Sean McDermott's done a lot of good things in Buffalo. But he's really starting to look like Marty Schottenheimer to me. A guy who'd have a lot of success during the regular season with the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC West. He'd win the AFC West. Then with the San Diego Chargers back then, he'd win the AFC West. But you get into the playoff and you see certain teams and you see certain guys and you can never get over that hump. Is it time to pull the plug on Sean McDermott?
The only way you can possibly fire Sean McDermott, who just led you to the AFC Championship, is if you have a surefire, proven, better coach already inked on a contract before you let this guy go. If you think that's someone like John Gruden, right, and you think like John Gruden's the guy we could get back in pro football, he's the one who can finally get us over top of that mountain to beat Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, then okay, go for it. And I don't think anyone would fault you for going and getting a guy who's proven like that, who has won a Super Bowl, who's, been out of the game now. But you can't fire Sean McDermott and go on some fishing expedition, right? You can't fire him and just go like hire some young coordinator on the off chance that he'll be some great head coach who can go toe to toe with this Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid dynasty. I mean, the Bills didn't win more than 10 games for 19 years. Now they've won 6 in a row. I think what they really need to do is go get better football players. I mean, they had 2 Pro Bowlers on this team. They're playing the Chiefs. The Chiefs have 5. That doesn't even include Patrick Mahomes, so that's really 6. The Eagles have 6. I don't think Nick Sirianni is that much better of a coach than Sean McDermott. He's going to coach in his 2nd Super Bowl in 3 years. You go get better players. You go get Josh Allen some help so that he's not having to do this all by himself. And again, if you think there's a guy out there who you really can go get who's better, okay, you make that move. But again, I wouldn't start some fishing expedition on just the off chance that you get a better coach.
I agree that you need to have a guy in place, or at the least, get somebody new in there to get you out of this trap, because it feels like you're just in a hole. It feels like mentally, with Sean McDermott, Blaine, that the Bills just cannot get past it. This is the same fan base that went to, 4 Super Bowls with Jim Kelly and never won one? So, and I get he brought you out of that hole, but you look at a guy like Mike McCarthy, who's won a Super Bowl. I mean, you can make the argument that Jerry Jones is the main reason why the Cowboys aren't winning. So I think there's guys out there, but in the least, at least get somebody fresh in there to make a change, because how have you not gotten Josh Allen the help? How at this point, after you've lost these games, have you not said, screw it, we've got to go get everybody? And you ended up beating the Ravens, but at least the Ravens went out there and got Derrick Henry. At least teams are making moves on defense. I just feel like mentally, Buffalo will never get past this. And your window's going to close eventually because, we talked about this during the live stream yesterday, Conan. You brought it up. There's some young teams, including in the AFC, with the Texans and with the Broncos. You see what Harbaugh's doing out there in L.A. for the Chargers. I just don't know if they can get past that with this guy.
Well, I don't know a guy that really can get past the Chiefs. What guy is that? I mean, he's just not walking around out there. And what did Sean McDermott do for the Bills? Y'all were in a 17-year playoff drought. 17 years in the first head coaching season he took you to the playoffs. I mean, y'all went 13-4 this year with an MVP candidate in Josh Allen. And I get getting more help, but this is the same team that had Stephon Diggs that went head-to-head with the Chiefs and lost. How much help can you get? How much more help can you put on a salary cap with this roster? I mean, you just beat the Ravens. And from a roster standpoint, they have, if not the best roster in the NFL. And I don't think it's more of a Sean McDermott thing. I think it's just Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. It's impossible to beat them. It is. I don't know what else you have to do. I mean, go back to their first game in the playoffs against the Texans. The Texans beat them in every stat in every category, and they still lost this game. The Chiefs have mastered a way not to lose games. It's not even about winning them. They just find ways not to lose them, and that's the greatness of the dynasty. So, no, I don't think you fire Sean McDermott. I do think you need to go get more help, for sure. We'll talk about that more to see what that is. But there's not a guy right here in college or NFL that is going to go and just magically beat the Chiefs. This isn't a witch in the wardrobe situation. This isn't Rainbow Land where you can just go find a coach who's going to automatically beat the Chiefs. It's not John Gruden. John Gruden's 1-5 against the Chiefs. It's not him. There's not a guy out there. So I think you keep building with Sean McDermott. You just go get more pieces, whatever those pieces are, and then you try to find a way to win.
Well, how many times can this happen? And Sean McDermott just stay there. How many times? What's the number? It's you haven't beaten them. You haven't won a Super Bowl. They beat you in the divisional round. They beat you in the AFC championship game. They beat you on the road, and they've beat you at home. So what's the number? Can this just go on forever? Hey, we're happy during the regular season. Oh, this is great. We do really great in the regular season. Then we get in the playoffs, and we fall apart. I'll give you an example. The Eagles with Andy Reid couldn't figure out a way to win the Super Bowl. And Andy Reid's one of the greatest coaches of all times with the Chiefs. They move on from Andy Reid. They kiss a frog with Chip Kelly. That leads them to Doug Peterson. They win a Super Bowl. Then you bring in Nick Sirianni after the Doug Peterson thing kind of falls apart. And we see what Nick Sirianni's done, including another Super Bowl appearance to play the Chiefs. It's just, David, how many times before you say, you know what? It's worth the risk of giving ourselves a fresh start to maybe find the guy that can do it? Or do you wait till next year when the Bills have a great record in the regular season and then lose to them again?
Well, if you fired everybody who's losing to Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, everybody in the league would be out of a job. I don't think John Harbaugh should be fired right now. Granted, he had a Super Bowl with Flacco, but he hasn't won one since Lamar Jackson's been there, and they've looked incredible.
But he has won one.
Well, yeah, but again, the Bills are at home in the divisional round, and they're not even favored to beat the Ravens, right? They're not even favored in their own building, and somehow they find a way to win that game. So, of course, you're not going to be favored when you go on the road against the Chiefs, right? And so it'd be a different situation if this were this is the best team in the NFL. This is the best roster. The only way you can lose with this team to anyone is if it's poor coaching. Then you got to say, okay, you have mismanaged this team with a roster that was elite, right? Then that way it's on the head coach. If this were college, it'd be a little different because in college, you're the general manager and the head coach. I mean, at what point are we going to say like, hey, this isn't the best roster? It was amazing they even punched above their weight and was able to beat the Ravens this year in the divisional round.
Well, and I see what you're saying, and I'm not saying if you never, everybody who hadn't beat the Chiefs should be fired, but the Bills are kind of held to a higher standard because they've been here so many times. This isn't an upstart team. This isn't a rebuild that you're still rebuilding. You are at your zenith right now with Josh Allen, and we don't know how long Josh Allen's going to be playing at this level. Guys don't get younger as they continue to go. Tom Brady was the only one that defied time in that way. So I don't think we can sit here and say, oh, it's not your fault because the roster isn't good enough. But you're the head coach. You have a big say in who gets on the roster. And
we don't know that.
Sean McDermott's got to have pull, right? He was the assistant scouting director for the
I've heard general managers tell guys, hey, when we get them drafted, then you can take over.
I think Sean McDermott's got more sway than what the GM does with what he's done in Buffalo. I think every situation's different, younger coaches and older coaches. But then again, we talk about on-the-field coaching, and I agree with you that they're not the most elite team in here, which is their fault. You don't have James Cook in on you give the first handoff of the last drive, the biggest drive of your life, and that the Bills fans have seen in a long time, to Ty Johnson, when James Cook is ripping the Chiefs apart. That's pure stupidity. It's pure stupidity. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah, that's bad. I think you can make a stronger case that Zach Taylor should be fired with the Bengals. That's what I'm talking about with
I agree with you
pieces
too.
Everywhere on the field, and you can't even make the playoffs. Again, the one Super Bowl appearance to me doesn't justify that. I think you can make a stronger case with him.
Yeah.
I agree. All right, Chad, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you donate, it's on topic. It will get read. We're going to start the day off with a $5 donation from the Max. Appreciate it, man. It says, tell me if I'm wrong, guys, but there's only one guy who can do this, and he's coaching at North Carolina right now.
Well, I mean, you can say that, but Bill Belichick doesn't have Tom Brady. Look at Bill Belichick's record.
Yeah.
It's funny, and people say, oh, well, look at Andy Reid with Patrick Mahomes. No. His record without Patrick Mahomes is pretty good, too. So I think it was more Brady than it was Belichick. And again, McDermott's done an incredible job at Buffalo. I'm just wondering, where's the limit? Because I don't think Bills fans were even enraged yesterday after what happened. I think they were depressed. It's one thing to be mad. It's another thing to be disappointed. Like, it just feels defeated. It feels like a defeated organization right now that no matter what happens, and Cone, you brought it up during the live stream too, and you're exactly right. And Blaine, you talked about it as well. They caught so many breaks last night. We'll talk about the rest, but Josh Allen fumbled, 3 times? Got it back? Almost threw 3 interceptions on the first drive. Patrick Mahomes fumbles a zone read as they're going in to score. You had every opportunity, and you still can't do it. And I don't want to take away from the Chiefs' greatness, right? That two things can be true at once. I'm just wondering, where is the limit for Bills fans when they look and say, oh, my God, here we go again?
Let's go to a $5 donation from Jack. Appreciate it, Jack. He says, guys, call me crazy, but would you not try to go get Spags from the Chiefs?
I
tell you what, that's been one huge key thing for the Chiefs, to keep Spags
without
on that defensive side of the ball and not let him go be a head coach somewhere.
And I was talking about this on the radio today. I think things that people don't talk about enough is Spags is also on the sidelines. He's not in the booth during these games. A lot of defensive coordinators like to be in the booth. They like to see everything. But I think what makes Spags isn't just how good he is schematically, right? Which he's really good, but there's a lot of guys that are good schematically. But he's on the sidelines, and he has such an instinctual feel of not just what to call, but when to call it. That's why I always like being on the sideline more. I could look into my guy's eyes. I could talk to him. And it's a different, you can feel the mood, you can feel the energy. But I mean, you talk about, he's been the biggest thing that's kept the Chiefs where they're at.
No doubt. And his name won't get mentioned as much as the dynasty gets older and older, which I think is unfortunate. He did have 3 years plus a couple games in a 4th year with the Rams. Never had a winning record. He was
How long ago was that, Coney?
That was 2009, 10, 11, and then he got fired. He got fired a couple games. Okay, that was 3 years with St. Louis, and then in 17 he was with the Giants. Went 1-3 for 4 games, but 1-15, 7-9, 2-14 from 9, 10, and 11.
And he just may want to be a coordinator at this point.
Some guys just want to.
Some guys just want to be a coordinator.
All right, let's go to $3 donation from Parker. Appreciate it, Parker. Do you think Ryan Day should have been fired if they didn't go to the Natty this season? Essentially the same position McDermott is in right now, except he didn't get it done.
You know, we've talked about it. I don't think Ryan Day should have been fired because we've seen what Ohio State has done before. Like they've climbed the mountaintop, right? You've seen them, have the ultimate success. Now, the Michigan thing, that's a whole nother conversation that we've had. And we'll see what happens next year, even after a national championship, if they go lose to Michigan for the 5th time in a row, because I think a lot of people will forget that. But my comp for Sean McDermott is more James Franklin than it is Ryan Day. When you look at kind of how this has gone, even with Penn State fans, and we'll get into the Jim Knowles thing, how many times is almost being good enough, are almost winning the whole thing, are almost putting yourself in a position to win the whole thing? How long can that last? We'll see.
Let's go to a $3 donation from the Georgia Dog. Appreciate it, man. He says, if you're going to fire Sean McDermott, you might as well fire every coach in the NFL. I don't know what it is, guys. You just can't beat the Chiefs when the pressure is the highest.
Well, again, and I think, but if you've proven it before, like, you bring up Harbaugh. I've seen Harbaugh win one. He's given the fan base one. If Sean McDermott, we had a guy comment yesterday that he doesn't even care if the Bills win the Super Bowl. He just wants them to go to the Super Bowl, which from a Bills fan is nuts after what happened during the Jim Kelly era.
To lose.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, if you had won one, or you had even beaten them once, you talk about Zach Taylor. The Bengals beat him one time. That's like the claim to fame for Cincinnati that's holding them all. But let's get to the poll. We got to move.
All right, poll. Should Sean McDermott be fired? Yes or no? It comes in at 70% no, 30% yes.
I wish I could just pull straight Bills fans. Just like a group of Bills fans.
Give them a week.
Give them a week. I know they're down right now.
Punt or Go, this is our debate segment. Each of us will make a statement, and the other guys can affirm that statement by going for it, or they can reject it by punting. We're going to stay on the Kansas City Chiefs here because we were live streaming this last night from Mission Cigar out in the wild, so to speak, in the jungle. And you can just feel the vibe around people in this country that, there's a narrative that the referees are cheating and the NFL is cheating for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs so they can set up the Super Bowl. So we have a couple calls here. Obviously, we need to show the 4th down where it was called a stop for the Bills. We had the catch, the simultaneous catch that was reviewed and they called it a catch for Xavier Worthy, and then the delay of game. Those are the 3 I really want to hit on. But the basic statement is the referees cheated the Bills to get the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Punt or Go?
I'm going to go on the premise. Cheated is a strong word. And if you look at penalty yardage, and sometimes the Chiefs don't get penalized more than the other team, but it's timing of the penalties. It seems like every time there is a bang-bang play, a 50-50 play, it somehow falls on the Chiefs' side. Josh Allen got that first down last night. He got it. You can see it from the side view. He got the first down. The side judge that actually came and had the correct spot, right, was overruled by the guy that had the incorrect spot. And then on the review, you can see the ball literally on the line before it disappears behind Chris Jones for a first down. And even worse than that, they got a 4th down earlier, and they shouldn't have been in 4th down because Dalton Kincaid got the first down. I just find it amazing. They give him an extra second on the play clock when it says 2:01 before the 2-minute warning, but 0 on the play clock. That's absolutely asinine. I'm just to the point now where I don't think they're sitting in a smoky room saying, hey, how can we screw everybody and help the Chiefs win? It's just an amazing-ass coincidence that every time a game-deciding call comes down to it, it falls on the Chiefs' side. It's a miracle. It's amazing. It always happens. Name the time the Chiefs didn't get a call.
Okay, you'll get your turn. Do we have the 4th down stop?
Let's show it. Let's show it if we got it, because there's multiple examples last night. All right, let's go ahead and play it. We got a tush push here.
A quarterback sneak, please.
Yeah, right here. Bro, Josh Allen's got the first down. I can tell you with the back line he's got the first down. Even the announcers are like, I think he got it, because it was blatantly obvious he got it. The guy at the top, that's a first down, bro.
You can't sit here and confidently say it.
All right, hold on.
I can sit here and confidently say it. And the other view's even better.
The referees cheated the Bills in favor of the Chiefs. Punt or Go?
Punt. None of these plays are definitive enough to be like, he got that first down. And actually, the right referee made the right call, which on this sideline, because he only had one body in front of him, the other referee had 2. Look at it right now. It's easier for this ref to see the side of the ball than it is that ref. And at the end of the day, I don't even think this should be about referees. This should be more about the NFL and why we haven't fixed this problem yet. This shouldn't come down to referees spotting the ball. Even the review's not good enough.
Sensor on the ball.
If you put a sensor on the ball, the amount of money that the NFL makes every year is insane. I see it in soccer. I see it in tennis. And And I don't know why this haven't been fixed yet, but I can look at this, and that's not a definitive first down to me. Look where the ball is. It doesn't matter where his body is. It matters where the ball is. You can go back to the simultaneous catch. I think that was the right call. I think the ball did hit the ground, but I do think both of them possessed it. The tie goes to who? The tie goes to the receiver, just like in baseball. The tie goes to the runner. The refs didn't cheat you. You just lost this football game. And the crazy thing about it, you're lucky it was this close because you fumbled it 3 times. You should have thrown 3 interceptions, and the Chiefs are just better than y'all. And it blows my mind that you think any team can line up on a Sunday and do what the Eagles do in a tush push. How about you just get the damn yard and not make it questionable? How about you just do that instead of just sitting back here and complaining about the refs? How about you get it done?
It's pretty annoying to see the NFL tell me how fast a guy can run when he's running on a touchdown because they have chips in the shoe or something.
Oh, I agree with that.
Put that in the football and say if we got a first down or a touchdown.
Well, I think to Blaine's point that he said the guy that saw the ball made the right call. I think that's an even more egregious statement because he saw the ball and got it wrong. The other guy didn't even see the ball and got it right. I could see from that other view last night that Josh Allen got the first down. All I'm going to ask is I'll ask this question again. I could give you 1,000 examples of when the Chiefs got a break on the call in a bang-bang play. Give me one example in a big moment where the call went against the Chiefs.
When he was playing Brady.
Well, guess what? In your face.
So genuinely, like, you think how does this mechanism work?
Well,
like what David, Roger calls down and
I don't think people sit in a smoky room and they're like, hey, if this happens, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. It just seems like the Chiefs have so much cachet. And I think you saw this a decent amount with the Patriots, and there were some similar complaints to that. The Chiefs have so much cachet that if it's close, it's almost like a defense mechanism that the officials seem to go inside with the Chiefs. I just don't believe in coincidences. I'll ask again. Name one time where the Chiefs, where that went the opposite way.
I get
just
what you're
once.
saying.
Give me one example.
But the Chiefs, I will say this, and I came out and said this. Patrick Mahomes gets a lot of calls. For sure. A lot of calls. The superstar treatment. I understand that, but there's no way it's good for business just to have one team make it to the Super Bowl every year. And
I don't know. We're about to talk
about
that.
One.
We're behind closed doors.
Because this will be what 6. This will be 5 of 6 years for the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 6 years with 3 wins with a chance to make it 4th and the first one to win 3 in a row.
And I will say this, I do think the 2-minute warning thing was agreed.
I think that was probably
the worst call out of
that was just absolutely awful.
All right, boys, punter, go for a little second topic here. Let's go get locked in. All right. The Chiefs versus the Eagles in the Super Bowl is good for NFL.
Oh, I'm going to go for this. Yeah.
Okay.
And even take like Taylor Swift out of it for a minute, because that all by itself would be good for the NFL to get all of these eyeballs and fans of hers across the country to tune in for the Super Bowl where they otherwise wouldn't have. Just take that out of it. It's a dynasty thing for me, right? This is like the Michael Jordan moment for Roger Goodell, and he's had a couple of them now with Brady and got to, Peyton Manning and all these guys. But yeah, I mean, what the Chiefs and Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce are all doing, a chance to be the first NFL team to win 3 in a row. Not only is that great for Roger Goodell and the NFL because you're going to get all the views from the people who are supporting this and who are fans of this, but you're going to get the hate watchers who want to tune in, just like yesterday. How many people were watching yesterday just because they wanted to see Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce lose, so they had to walk off that field crying in frustration? And then your opponent in it is going to be a big market like Philadelphia with a star running back who has a chance, 40 yards away from having the most rushing yards in NFL history with the regular season and the postseason combined. I think the NFL loves this.
I love it, David. Well done. Jake, the Chiefs versus the Eagles in the Super Bowl is good for the NFL. Punt or go?
I'm going to punt, and there's some nuance to this. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world for the Chiefs to have made the Super Bowl with a chance to win 3. I think it's a bad matchup for the Chiefs to play the Eagles because they're 2 of the big dogs, 2 of the people that everybody thought was going to be here. America likes either a dominant force or an amazing underdog. Not a dominant force and another kind of dominant force playing them. You need both of those stories. Think about it, guys. How much more intriguing would this be if it was, regardless of what happened, history would be made? The Chiefs would either win 3 straight Super Bowls for the first time ever, or a rookie quarterback could win the Super Bowl for the first time leading his team at the helm. You want a little bit of both, right? You want the Neapolitan, not just the chocolate or the vanilla. Yes, the hate watchers are going to show up for the Chiefs, but they're playing the Eagles. You need like a yin to the yang. You don't want to see two big dogs. It's like in the NCAA tournament. We love seeing a big-time team play well, but you know what we love the most? When they got to match up against FAU in the Final Four. Or there's some great story. It's half awesome, and it half kind of sucks.
All right, why don't you set up Brian Schottenheimer for us?
Oh, you're going to
Cowboys
like
have a new coach.
You're going to like this one. All right, so Brian Schottenheimer is the new coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And there's obviously been a ton of reaction to this. And Blaine, I want to start with you.
Okay.
Will Brian Schottenheimer be Jerry Jones' last coaching hire at the Dallas Cowboys? Punt or go?
Punt. Jerry Jones is going to live forever. I really think with science and technology, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, he's 82 and he looks like he's 108. I mean, I think this guy, I mean, we're out here, we can make cells, we can make blood vessels, we can make hearts. I think Jerry Jones might be a vampire. Who really knows? But you think this guy's going to be the last hire? This guy might make it through 6 games. 6 games and he's out. They're going to fire him, not let him interview on any other teams. He's going to go be a coordinator somewhere in high school. But no, this is Jerry Jones, not his last hire. What is this kids going to push him out? Their kids have no say what Jerry Jones does. He's just lucky enough to let him in the stadium. This will be a year maybe. They might win 4 games. They might win 4 games, and they're going to fire Schottenheimer, and they're going to go hire somebody else Jerry Jones can control. Because that's the only reason they hired this guy and not Dion or, hell, Kent McCarthy. They want a guy in there they can control. They'll control him for a year, then fire him, then Jerry Jones will bring somebody else.
Man, if they'd have hired Kevin McCarthy, that'd have been a hell of a coup to go from politics to the Cowboys. David Cohn. I know you meant Mike.
I say Mike.
You said Kevin, but that's all right. David Cohn. Will Brian Schottenheimer be Jerry Jones' final hire with the Cowboys? Punt or go?
You know what? I'm going to go for this, and here's why. What do the Cowboys call themselves? What's their nickname?
America's team.
Everyone knows it, right? America's team. And they're not really living up to that. And I think there's a guy out there by the name of Donald J. Trump who really doesn't like that. He doesn't like one of the teams calling themselves America's team, and you're not winning the Super Bowl. There was another 82-year-old guy who he just ran out of here and said, no, you're not in charge anymore. I think we're going to see this initiative of Make the Cowboys Great Again. Hostile takeover. Donald Trump's going to lead it. Maybe put tariffs and some sanctions in Dallas, right? Like we just
tariff Dallas?
Yeah, they're
just tariff Jerry Jones.
They're going to tariff, and then he's going to cave, and there's going to be a hostile takeover, bear hug, stock market edition. Donald Trump's going to be in charge of the Cowboys. I'm not saying they'll necessarily do better, but he'll at least make a different hire. Jerry Jones, the last coach here.
Well, Blaine, you don't think there could be like an intervention situation with Jerry Jones' kids where he like comes in the room and everybody wrote like a letter like, hey, listen, you got to stop giving $20,000 a week to those scam artists from India. Like,
why would I listen to anything they have to say?
They're your kids.
I built this.
You bought that.
I built it and bought it.
True.
A little bit of both.
You won 3 Super Bowls.
I won't listen to these guys. No, this is my team, all right? You're lucky to be in this skybox, all right? Enjoy the food. Don't say anything wrong to me, or next thing you know, you won't be in the family anymore.
Out of the circle of trust.
Exiled from the family.
Yeah, you'll be you'll be helping the Jets.
I really do wonder what that family dynamic's like, though. If anybody,
have you ever seen Succession?
I haven't.
Probably like that.
Okay, that sounds right.
All right, last one up here. Let's talk about Jim Knowles. Jim Knowles obviously was the defensive coordinator for the Buckeyes, just won the national championship. Now he's going to be the defensive coordinator at Penn State after Tom Allen left to go be the DC at Clemson. Sounds like he's going to make $9.3 million over 3 years. So 3.1 a year, going to be the highest paid the highest paid coordinator in college football. Sounds like the Buckeyes were ready to make him the highest paid coordinator as well, even though it doesn't sound like it was a direct match in terms of salary. And even with all his bonuses that he got from this national championship, he was up close to $3 million this past year. But my statement is Jim Knowles leaving the Buckeyes is a mistake. Punt or go?
Oh, I'm going on this. What are you doing? You don't leave a made bed when you're staying in the King's Chambers to go hang out with the nobles walking around the village. No offense to Penn State, but Ohio State is the top dog right now, right? We can say what you want about Michigan, but Michigan's had their fair share of success against Penn State. I know it didn't work out they didn't play this past season, but if the money was even close, which I think it could have been, the only way that you make this jump is if something happened that was personal. There's a report out there that Jim Knowles wasn't allowed to go to the Ohio State National Championship celebration while he was negotiating his contract. All right, it's either that or he didn't like the way that the coaches were treated at Ohio State when it was going bad. Because this move makes no sense to me. And you just won the national championship. Your defense played their guts out. You could have an okay next year and get away with it. But now you go to Penn State, who's still, you want to talk about climbing the mountain, you want to talk about the Bills.
Yeah.
I don't trust Penn State to beat Ohio State or win the big one when it matters. Now even more pressure's on you because you go to Columbus next year if I'm
looking at
mistaken. And if they hang a crooked number up on you, that's going to make it even worse. Jim Knowles, it had to be personal. That's the only way, because if the money was even close, you're already rich. You do not leave Ohio State that, spends $20 million on a roster. I think he's 13 flavors of nuts, in my opinion.
They do go to Columbus next year, November 1st. This was a mistake for Jim Knowles. Punt or go?
Jake, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I actually agree with you when it comes to this. Nothing about this move makes sense to me. It really doesn't. And it kind of goes back to the Tom Allen thing from Penn State to Clemson. You went to a team that's lesser than what you are. And I don't want to hear about the money thing. Ohio State already came out and said they would either match or go above whatever Penn State's paying you. You're paying $20 million for your roster. I'm pretty sure you have enough money to pay a coordinator. But, I saw reports, and I'm pretty sure I know what this is about. Ryan Day, after that Oregon game, after they gave up all those points and lost against Oregon, came in and started helping the defense. All right? And that guy didn't like that. Jim Knowles didn't like that.
Personal.
He got butt hurt. His ego got hurt. And he decided, no, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to coach this defense. This is my defense. And I don't want anybody touching it. So I'm going to take my ball and I'm going to go to Penn State. That's the only reason why you would see this move. It's not for money. It's not for players. It's not for the logo of the school. Because where you're at right now is better than where you're going. The only reason you would see a move like this is a personal reason. And that personal reason is that Ryan Day started helping with the defense after Oregon slashed them for 4 quarters. And Jim Knowles couldn't take it. So that's why he went to Penn State.
Well, Jim Knowles just orchestrated one of the top defenses in the country, and really for the last couple seasons. So what is Ryan Day going to come into the room and say in terms of like helping the defense be better than what Jim Knowles was going to make him?
Well, but look, at the end of the day, he's the head coach, man. Like, even if he came in there and said something, he's the head coach. And that's fine. You don't like it? Well, that's just part of it. You signed up to work for him. Why don't you go be a head coach somewhere? Don't take another coordinator job. Why don't you go be a head coach? And I got all the respect in the world for Penn State. Incredible university when it comes down to success athletically. But this ain't a lateral move. You may be in the same conference, but this ain't a lateral move. You may have been in the playoff with them, but this isn't a lateral move. Now all the pressure is on you. And to Blaine's point, bringing that up, I think if it's going to be anything of the 3 things we brought up, it would probably be that, because at the highest level of this sport, the egos are massive. It better go good.
It
better go good.
About coaches, like from a control freak standpoint,
Oh.
they are all control freaks.
Which with Ryan Day makes sense. I mean, if they're burying this guy as a top 5 winningest coach in college football and you're on the hot seat every single Thanksgiving for the last 4 years because you can't beat Michigan, trust me, I understand how the paranoia sets in. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying this is one of the top defensive minds. There's a reason you went and got him from Oklahoma State. There's a reason your defense has been one of the top defenses in the country. I just wonder, you really think Jim Knowles would leave there? Like, did it get bad enough internally after a national championship?
If I could
you're going to uproot your family?
If I could be a fly on the wall, because the only reason you would make this move if it got bad.
And the only people who really know that are probably the players and the coaches, because they can feel it, and coaches talk to coaches. So I don't have any inside information that was it, but after the experience that I've had, I would not be shocked at all if that was an small, like an under the radar type of catalyst to get him out of there. Because look, you didn't go to Utah, you didn't go to LSU, you went to Penn State. So you want to help knock them off the mountain. And like I said, the money, I think they could have matched. That's a really interesting situation to me.
All right, let's give the chat $5 donation from JC. If Chip Kelly leaves as well, who are going to be their replacements?
They'll find somebody fantastic. I mean, again, it's Ohio State. I would love to be able to coach a roster like that. They can make you look pretty daggum smart at the end of the day. As far as on the defensive side, there's a couple candidates we always throw out, like, what would Travis Williams look like, this, that, or the other. I'd have to really look at the list, but somebody big's going to take that job.
All right, let's go to the $5 donation from the coach. Appreciate it, man. He says, Blaine, how can you look at that play where both the players caught the ball, but it hit the ground as a catch? I'll never understand it. Well, I'll go back and look at it. I think that ball was a catch.
I agree with you.
I really do. The ball can touch the ground, but still be possessed at the same time.
Can't move.
Yeah, it can't move. It can touch the ground, but can't move. And if it's possessed, I think it was, and the tie goes to who? It goes to the receiver. And to be honest with you, that ball should have been picked.
Oh, it should.
That ball should have been picked 100 times out of 100 times, but you didn't.
But to me, I'm not as up in arms over that play because there was a defensive holding that was called before that. So it wasn't like it was going to be a turnover. If they'd have ruled it an interception, then all the Chiefs would have done was taken the penalty and got their 10 yards and kept moving on.
Let's go to a $5 donation from Ronald. Appreciate it, man. He says, guys, I still haven't gotten an explanation on how that wasn't a delay of game before the 2-minute warning. Can you please help me?
No, I can't.
No, I can't either.
I can't. We sat there on the live stream befuddled yesterday. Very rarely do I look at something and I don't have an answer other than that was either one of the most egregious, incompetent refereeing moments I've ever seen or something is up.
You know, the explanation of, well, the television clock and the on-field clock may not be married up exactly, that just doesn't hold water to me. Now, I will say that Patrick Mahomes clearly, checked in first to see, hey, am I good? And clearly he was told yes and then walked off the field. That's not what would have cost him the game. He would have just gone up there and just run a play before the quarter ended, or
sure.
They would have used a timeout. It's not, but the very fact that he was able to get that confirmation and then walk off the field while we saw that before the 2-minute warning, 2:01, is pretty wild.
Yeah, the best version of what happened in that is that he asked and the referee screwed up and thought that it was going to end simultaneously. That's just the best version of the way I can look at it if I want to put it in rose-colored glasses, that the referee screwed up, and since he already told him that you didn't have to run a play, you can't penalize him then after that. But that was a screw-up. And as far as the play clock being as the same as the one that the refs have, those cannot be different. Those have to be the same. And it's not like you snapped the ball and, they say if you look up, but the ball snapped as it's going to 0, it's not delay a game. Okay, if that happened, I'd be fine with it. That's not what happened. You sat on the ball and went to the 2-minute warning. All right, one more, we got to move on.
All right, let's go to $5 donation from Lauren. Appreciate it, Lauren. Says, guys, I don't know how it is that the Chiefs and the Eagles playing in the Super Bowl is helping the NFL. Everybody hates both those teams except the people that live in those cities.
Yeah, you want to hate one of them and love the other.
But both of them are hated.
But both of them are hated, but for different reasons. People hate the Chiefs and Andy Reid because they're winning a lot. A lot of people just hate the Eagles because of it's like our boy says on his nature walks, it's an aspen tree because of the way it is. I just think they just don't like Philadelphia's fans or whatever. But all right, let's move on here.
All right, top plays. Who wants to start? Both games yesterday.
I will. Come on. I'm going to get to that poll, too. Who won Punt or Go? Jake, me and you ended up tying at 39%.
I'll take it.
All right, bring my play up there. It should be Saquon Barkley, guys. Surprise, surprise. It's not a reverse hurdle. I mean, he didn't save a baby from a burning building, but it was actually pretty close. First play on offense for the Eagles, and Saquon does this. Go ahead and run this play.
Yeah.
Little bunch down here, motion Devontae Smith. Little crack toss. Let me get downhill. 1, 2, spin, 3, 4, and guess what? We're off to the races, guys. We knew early that this game could get ugly if that was the first play from the Eagles, and what a day for the Eagles, especially on the ground. And Saquon Barkley, congratulations to the Eagles, man. Super Bowl appearance.
7 rushing touchdowns.
That's insane.
More than the Cowboys had all season.
That is just absolutely insane. We asked what Washington was going to do early. Do you just load the box or do you play it even or whatever? Now, the Eagles are in kind of that tight formation, so it brings more bodies. But that just goes to show you, sometimes when the trash gets caught up in the middle and guys start falling down, those layers and levels get created in the defense. And if you give Saquon a breath of fresh air in the second level, stuff like that can happen to you.
Let me ask y'all this. Are you taking Saquon or Derrick Henry?
Right this second?
Right now?
No, I'll take Saquon.
Who are you taking over Saquon in all span of time?
Running back-wise?
Yep.
Barry Sanders.
Are you?
Yeah.
Man.
I'm taking Barry.
That's a whole thing. I'd have to really.
I just wanted to throw it
I got to put, I got to get strapped in for that.
But it just sucks. I didn't get to see Walter Payton. Just watch him play. I see the highlights, but I can watch Saquon play. I can see the amazing. I can see the really good. I can see the just okay, and I can see the bad. There ain't a whole lot of bad there. But you brought up a point yesterday, too, Blaine. Watch Saquon pick up blitzes.
Ooh.
These 60-yard runs are great. These broken tackles and reverse hurdles are great. Watch that man pick up a blitzer.
In the A-gap.
That's what separates.
Talk about Penn State. He was a problem there.
Oh, hell. They wish they had him.
Yeah. You got James Cook?
Yeah, let's go this James Cook play on the option. A guy they didn't have on the last drive. They wanted to give the ball to Ty Johnson. I cannot believe Joe Brady did that. I don't care what packages you have set up or what you've practiced. You put your best players in the game in the biggest moment. You don't take out Michael Jordan when you need to go get a basket to win a game. It was absolutely asinine. But here we go. 4th and goal, guys. We were wondering what play call we were going to get. They line up in split gun. We thought we were going to get some kind of zone read bluff, maybe with the tight end. But they go speed option, right, into the boundary, balls in the middle field. And this is just James Cook making an incredible play. Let's go ahead and play it. You get speed option, get the pitch, hit 1, hit 2, sticks the ball out when you have to have it. You know, if this is 1st and goal, great play, brother. This is 2nd and goal, really nice play, bro. If it's 3rd and goal, wow, you saved him from a 4th down situation. This was 4th and goal in a huge moment, and it wasn't there. And this is the 2nd time on that day where we had an option play kind of hit in a funky way when it shouldn't have. Earlier, Jaden Daniels cut the freaking load option back against the Eagles and scored in the red zone. But James Cook, amazing player. We got to start comparing now. We got to start talking about him and Dalvin.
I don't think Joe Brady had his best game when it comes to play calling. Our personnel.
No.
But do you know what the balls you have to call a speed option on 2-point conversion to the short side of the field?
And it really wasn't there.
It wasn't.
That's locked up.
But, I mean, at the end of the day, players make schemes look a lot better.
Yeah. But all that's erased when you don't have James Cook out there in the final drive.
Well, too. It's just
that was the dumbest. And Joe Brady's a very smart person. That was the dumbest.
It's just amazing to me. Like you'll try to run the tush push 7 times and it didn't work. And it didn't work. And you just kept trying to force feed it down people's throat. You're not the Eagles. All right, you don't have that offensive line. Josh Allen doesn't squat 1,000 pounds like Jalen Hurts does. I would rather Josh Allen be in shotgun and get downhill as quick as possible than put him behind center and have 2 running backs trying to push him for the first down.
He's one of the few guys I don't mind in shotgun, even in short yards.
Well, we were begging for it, and it worked when they did it. I mean, my wife watches that Pioneer Woman cooking show all the time, and I'll see her cook something, but just because she cooks it good, when I try it, surprise, surprise, it ain't as good.
Yeah.
It's still pretty good.
I mean, it's pretty good. It ain't Pioneer Woman.
How about this call from Joe Brady? Let's go to the touchdown pass from Josh Allen to Mac Hollins, who had a day, boys. I mean, he was one bright spot for the Bills. Yeah. And this should tell you everything you need to know. Out of our 3 top plays, Chiefs not on there. The Chiefs just go about their business, just winning games and going to Super Bowls. But even in a losing effort, the Bills had some amazing plays. Let's look at this touchdown right before half, 29 seconds left, 2nd and 10.
On 2nd and 10.
Look up top, streak.
On the field for the big ball to the end zone.
Look at that.
And it is.
I don't think that was passing.
With 23 seconds left.
I mean, the only thing better than the throw is the catch there.
Well,
did y'all see Mac Hollins pregame fit?
Oh, dude, I saw him. What did you see him before the Bills home game against the Ravens? He showed up in beach attire.
Yeah, I was snowing. What was he wearing? A trash bag?
No, he's like he almost dressed up as Elmo.
Really?
Yeah,
well, look, you're going to make catches like that. I don't care if you dress up like the Wicked Witch from the West. I mean, just make plays. How do you let him get behind you like that in that situation?
Because he's good.
I mean, they ran it's kind of a little stalk and go, and he tried to jump underneath it. But yeah, big day from Mac Hollins. He was definitely awake for that one. But speaking of awake, all right, we all like to drink coffee, at least most of us. Some of y'all might not, but you should. And if you're drinking anything other than Black Rifle coffee right now, I think you're doing it wrong. It's not just because of the dark roast and the light roast and everything in between. It's not just because of the Electric Eagle espresso that they got or just the cool names, Silencer Smooth, Gunship, Power Llama. It's that every purchase you make helps them further their mission to support veteran and first responder causes. Everything from getting funding and equipment to first responders to helping our veterans get medical care. They also, if you don't know, maybe you're new to coffee, you're new to the game. You want to come in and switch it up, pull a Jaden Daniels in the coffee game. And you don't know what coffee you like or what you need. Well, you need to take the coffee quiz on their website and get matched with a blend perfectly tailored to your specific taste. And once again, every portion of every purchase that you make, or a portion of every purchase that you make with Black Rifle Coffee goes towards supporting those fantastic causes. So head to blackriflecoffee.com, use code DailyWire, all one word, for 20% off America's coffee. That's blackriflecoffee.com. Use code DailyWire, get 20% off, support great causes, and get fantastic coffee. All right, gentlemen, I'm going to go to the bet board again. Ended a little bit early today after the 8-hour live stream. Going to go back full-time, obviously, tomorrow. But let's get to tonight's bet. Start our locks, leans, and dogs. Print Whitty went pretty well. Was 1-on-1 on locks, 2-0 on leans. You know, we reach for our dogs. All right, we reach for them because we love them. I didn't hit either one of my dogs, but it was still a positive weekend. Tonight, Duke playing NC State. Man, what another tough matchup in ACC basketball. Going to be a tough one tonight in Cameron Indoor.
Quickly, sorry for the interruption, but I know we're running out of time. What were your thoughts on the Tennessee-Auburn basketball game?
Sorry as you're in mid-bet there.
Yeah. Hold on.
You brought up ACC basketball.
It was played on Tennessee's terms. I thought the officiating was awful for both sides. But the fact that Auburn can win a game like that, we just talk about the teams that can win the most ways. You got 11 quad one wins right now. We're not even into February. You beat 7 top 25 teams. Janai Broom's coming back healthy. Just keep playing good. But we know what matters. What matters, Blaine? March.
Yeah,
that's what matters. Duke's going to murder NC State tonight. Hopefully it's by 21 or more. That's going off at -120. And then Arizona, who's playing better. Shout out to our boy Jeff in the control room because y'all look like absolute cheek water early in the year. Playing Iowa State. I'm going to take that over at 152. That's going off at -112. What do you got, Coney?
All right, well, I'll take the team total points for Duke over 77.5, -115. And then give me UCLA money line, -102, taking on USC in an all-LA matchup.
What do you make you giggle?
Those odds. I mean, I love those odds for the top bet.
Oh, God. It's definitely going to hit. -1,150.
Suddenly, I don't like it anymore.
Yeah. Right. Congrats. You can spend $1,000 and get kicked in the balls.
Not bad on the locks, leans, and dogs, but definitely hit that 5K in that first game, which was huge. I hope you trailed that and then cashed out on the under in the second game.
Thanks for telling me.
In the first quarter and only lost $200. So I ended up racking $4,800 on a Sunday. We'll take that absolutely. Today, little college basketball. Shout out Coney. I'm going Michigan -8.5. Going off at -115. You know who they're playing, Dave?
Yeah, they're playing.
Shout out Jim Knowles.
Penn State.
Penn State, absolutely. Give me Southern Miss +11.5, -114 on the road against Troy.
Ooh, all right, Ace, what do you got? He's going to go Iowa State +2.5. Not a bad bet at all at -105. Then he's going to ride with Michigan at -9.5. All right, that's going off at -108. All right. Coney, you want to fit it in a minute?
No, I have nothing today.
Good. I was hoping we could get to these donos.
All right, let's get to these donos. Let's go to a $5 donation from Philly the Kid. He says, Jake, be honest with me. Why do you hate the Eagles?
I don't hate the Eagles.
Everybody thinks you hate
Everybody kept saying that. I grew up in the state of Alabama. There's really not an NFL team I hate or that I love. But I thought Washington had a decent chance to win that game. And I was low-key kind of rooting for Jaden Daniels, but I'm not pissed that the Eagles won. I've never even been to Philly. I want to go. We were actually planning a trip to go to Philly this summer. But now I'm kind of worried for our safety if I go out there. And I don't want to have to Nicolas Cage go break a brick in a chimney and find some glasses to find my way around there without getting killed.
So the $5 donation from the TA. Appreciate it, man. He says, that guy all the way on the left is an absolute idiot. Appreciate it. I don't know how you look at that Josh Allen run and not say it's a first down.
I always like when they say
I watched the video and my eyes work.
But
how's your mother's basement?
Yeah, hey, well, I always laugh when they're like the guy on the left. I'm like, I wonder which way they're like. I'm trying to think like the way the camera looks.
I don't care what they say directional wise. It's just is it something positive or negative?
Yeah. Negative, well, that's why I like just being in the middle because I know it's not about me.
Let's got a $5 donation from Andrew. Appreciate it. The Eagles are clearly America's team. The best fans and a team that curb stomps the Redskins and Cowgirls alike and about to leave the Swifties sobbing. Buddy, I promise you, the Eagles are not America's team.
Well, is this kind of the like Ohio State Notre Dame situation where a lot of people hate Notre Dame, but they all came together to support Notre Dame because of their hatred for Ohio State? Now you look here, a lot of people hate the Eagles, but will America coalesce around the Eagles just to stop Thanos and the Chiefs?
Even after that fan last week?
I don't think it matters anymore. Look, the mayor can't spell the name of the city. I mean, what's more American than that?
Let's get a $5 donation from Tyler. Appreciate it, Tyler. Hey, guys, it's me. I'm okay, but not okay at the same time.
I was actually worried about Tyler as I was going to bed last night
a little bit too.
after he was writing all those letters to us.
Let's go $2 donation from the War. Appreciate it. I blame Pfizer and the Pfizer boy for the Chiefs keep winning. They just keep getting all this money.
It's amazing. I want to see, like, is that the connection, the pharmaceuticals and the refs? Is that just what we're missing here?
Maybe.
$5 donation from Dan. Appreciate it. Guys, time to be honest. Patrick Mahomes is definitely in the Illuminati, and the person who got them in there was obviously Taylor Swift.
I mean, but he was doing this pre-Taylor Swift, though.
He was.
You look at his numbers through the first 8 seasons compared to Tom Brady's numbers, he is dwarfing Tom Brady right now. I'm just saying. We'll see how it goes from here on out. But he is absolutely clapping Tom Brady.
$5 donation from Jack. Appreciate it, Jack. He says, guys, is Tom Brady actually a lizard person?
Who's maybe Illuminati lizard?
I hope
people?
not. I don't know. That's weird.
If not, man, lizards can play quarterback, bro.
Let me tell you about a movie.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to a $2 donation from Dave. Appreciate it, Dave. Says, my guy Todd Golden is innocent.
Free.
Let him go.
Yeah, they did the Title IX investigation. Turns out Toddy G was doing nothing, man.
Really?
They tried to hit him with like some sexual harassment, saying he was like hitting up chicks on Instagram. They did an investigation. Look, best rebound that Florida's had all year. Todd Golden beating the Rat.
Completely innocent.
Completely.
Wow.
100%.
$3 donation from Mark17. Appreciate it. Says, hey guys, who should replace the old DC from Notre Dame now?
We talked about that a little bit last week. And again, Arkansas fans hate when I do this, but like it just feels like a great fit for Travis Williams to go to Notre Dame with Marcus Freeman. You want to talk about keep on recruiting like that new kind of era of swag? I think it'd be a good fit.
Let's go to $5 donation from our one and only Heartbroken Hog. Appreciate it. Anyone that says the NFL is rigged is on the same level as saying the moon landing is fake, but it's okay. I've got 10 full hats for everyone. Just don't freak out.
Well, I always laugh when people are like, oh, 32 owners wouldn't agree to rig it. That's not how you rig it. Only one guy's got to know to rig it. You don't need all 32. Just one guy and the refs and the score clock operator.
All right, $3 donation from the P-Man. Appreciate it. Says, guys, I'm an Eagles fan here. Do we have a shot?
Yes.
Yes. If you're going to get a full preview, we got 2 weeks of this. You might as well strap in and buckle up. We're going to be talking about what the Eagles are eating for dinner and why it matters.
All right, last donation of the day, a $2 donation from WTH. He says, sorry, I'm late, fellas. Did I miss Blaine's dance moves?
Well, you're going to have to see me after practice. I made that note early in the show. You're dancing tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
Full
tomorrow.
episode. Full episode.
You're going to have to give us something.
All right, let's get to this poll. I just went ahead and threw this in here because I was interested to see what the Booster Club thought. Did Joe Brady call a bad game? Yes or no? Do y'all want to guess this one?
They probably said yes. They're reactionary. And maybe he did.
I think he did.
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes, 61%.
That sounds good. 60%.
Ooh, yes, 68%. No, 32%.
Yeah, and look, Joe's incredibly smart. There's some stuff, if your guys don't play good, like I'll give you an example. That Curtis Samuel play that was wide open that he called, that Josh kind of underthrew and then he dropped it, that's not on Joe Brady.
We weren't really play calling, it was personnel.
But, personnel to me it indicates play calling, like where you're going to go, because personnel is matchups. And I just don't understand some of the decision-making from the Buffalo Bills. And I won't understand your decision-making if you don't hit that like and subscribe button. Full show for you tomorrow. Make sure you're strapped in. We got a long way to go. A lot still going on. I got the Super Bowl coming up, and like the chances of me not being excited about live streaming the Super Bowl from Mission Cigar, even though I smoked like 6 cigars yesterday, and when I got home, I sounded like James Earl Jones.
Yesterday.
Should we go to New Orleans?
I ain't trying to do that. I got a new baby,
You go.
man. You got 3.
Our correspondent.
Well, happy birthday, Ava.
Happy birthday, Ava.
Birthday,
Yes,
Ava.
yes. Anyways, just like the chances of us not having fun live streaming the Super Bowl, we're going. Gone. Don't reach your hand out, dog.
You're throwing it to me.
Just sit back and enjoy the show.
Trying to help, man.
God.